Hey everyone, welcome back to Two Moons and a Microphone. My name is Tanya Scott Thomas. I love fantasy, but I keep it real. This season of Two Moons and a Microphone is sponsored by Housebar. Housebar is the bottle shop remixed for adventurous drinkers, foodies, and home entertainers. Housebar is here to help people gather well, live fully, and celebrate intentionally. Visit Housebar here in the Washington, D.C. area at Navy Yard or in Georgetown. So welcome back, everyone. Hello to everyone in the chat. I'm very excited to welcome my friends and the official sponsors of Two Moons and a Microphone, David and Courtne Jones, co-founders of Housebar. David and Courtne, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
exciting
us.
To be here.
Overdue. Well, we're overdue, and that's on us. We are definitely overdue.
I'm so glad that you could join us. I think this is a great year to have you guys on as we're kind of expanding. We're just celebrating all kinds of Black fandom, and I wanted to thank you personally for always supporting me in my nerdy pursuits and for sponsoring the show.
Absolutely. So, well, you were the one who introduced me to ElfQuest, so I had no choice but to be on the show today to support you.
and you liked it, right? Because
I loved it. Amazing. I loved it. And I'm not historically a comic book reader like that, but I literally was like through all the pages. So it was great.
Yes. And in exchange, I read your favorite fantasy series, Aragon.
The Aragon series, yes. Yes.
I got all into the dragons. So
I know. Shame they only made one movie out of it, but you know, the books were better anyway. So
they just announced that there's never going to be an ElfQuest movie, at least not while Wendy and Richard are alive.
Wow.
And
it's a shame.
It was their decision.
Awesome
it's like
movie, especially with all like the anime, craze right now. Like, not that it's anime, but like the whole, I think it could be really amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, they had the option with now I can't remember the company, but that did the Into the Spider-Verse.
Wow.
And it was with Fox, and they had written one episode, and I think they had asked for another, but then as they were going back and forth, they wanted to change like the essence of the story. And Wendy and Richard were like, "That's can't do it, can't do that." Yep. So it will live in our own imaginations. We have the best movie in our minds. So
exactly,
love it.
I think that's a bold choice.
The Into the Spider-Verse team is awesome. Like, full out, like waiting for the third episode. It's going to be awesome. But
honestly, we just watched it yesterday.
Yeah.
Not for the first time, like the 10th time.
It's good. High rewatch value.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The first time I saw it, I mean, you kind of get like Spider-Man fatigue. Like there's so many Spider-Man like movies, iterations, but that one I was like, this is, first of all, the blackest Spider-Man.
Right.
But just like the way it was depicted with like the hair texture, and it just felt like New York, like so much. Because you guys lived in New York, I lived in New York, like you could just feel it.
Yeah. And that's probably, we have 4 kids that are various ages of teenager dumb. And
is that a thing?
Teenager dumb?
Yeah, sure.
I think I'm gonna call it that.
I'll take it with you.
And that's probably one movie that when we put it on, they will all come and sit and watch.
That's right. Because I think it hits them all differently. Like, I mean, I don't know. Especially the second one. I think it like.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You're right. That's a good call. That's a good call, idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I was saying, I will find any way to, find a connection to ElfQuest. So like Wendy and Richard, who took this bold move to branch out on their own and put ElfQuest out into the world after being like rejected by Marvel, you two decided to go out on your own and found Housebar. So tell us a little bit about, how that came to be.
Yeah, how'd that come to be?
How far do you want to go back?
Like
we were talking about it, like, should we go all the way to 2002?
Yes,
or when we met? Or
right. So, full disclosure, I have known David and Courtne for over 20 years. David and Courtne and my husband Eric went to business school together, and that is how we met. And we have been friends ever since. And our kids have grown up together, and now we're in this next stage of adulthood.
Go all the way back. I'm reading the chat, like, go all the way back. Okay.
Do you want to speed run? We can speed run it. Like,
yeah, we don't have to spend a lot of time. So we met in 2000 in business school, and we were in a business development class together.
Yes, you weren't going to say I was wildly handsome and you saw me across the room.
All those things.
Okay, cool.
And then we were in a business development class together, and we just started you connected with a distiller in St. Lucia.
Sure.
And we were going to import a peanut flavored liqueur that they had there. And we were like, our whole business project was like, how do you market this in the US? How do you repackage it and make it like a thing? Because liqueurs at the time were like on the rise in terms of like one of the growth engines in the spirits industry. And
I like hearing your version of the story.
Is it different from yours?
Yeah, but not in a bad way. Like, it's like awesome to hear your version. And I'm like, oh, in my head, it's like totally different.
So we were working on it for a while, and we were also kind of dating, but not really dating. And we got to a point where I was like, I can't be on this team and like you at the same time. So I quit the team, and the business carried on. So that was a thing. So you can tell that next phase.
Sure. This is a great story, I guess, in a lot of ways. But yes, this is mostly like that's what happened.
That was speed.
That was speed. I remember we were in business school. I remember we were doing an entrepreneurial studies class. I remember it was about spirits because it was great for all of our particular businesses. Some people were marketing, some people were ops, some people were all these other things. I do remember we found liquor as an industry that worked really well for us. I do remember you quitting the team. This is all true.
You have to make sacrifices sometimes.
But you know, the rest of the team, we pushed forward, and I think it was interesting and good. We stayed in the liquor business. We all went to our jobs. Like everyone graduates, you go to your job, you do consulting, you do banking, you do marketing. We all went to our jobs, and then we worked on the business at night to disrupt spirits, which is interesting because this is like the title of what we're talking about. We were trying to disrupt spirits then. I just think we probably didn't understand what we meant by disrupt spirits. We were still doing things that everyone else was doing. We were bringing over new products, and we were thinking about products. We weren't really tapping into who we were as like individuals. We weren't thinking about building worlds or storytelling. And so, you know, three of us kept going with the business. You know, all three of us, me, Clyde, and Dana. We kept going with the business, and we built Team Spirits, and then it was just Clyde and I.
But I will say there was a lot of storytelling even in the Castry days, because we were trying to take peanuts, which people think of as kind of like, you know, rudimentary and just, you know, not fancy at all. And how do you make it elegant? And so that was part of the packaging that we developed, and how you told the story about the authenticity and how peanuts are grown and harvested, and how you turn something that's very, you know, natural and earthy to something that people want to elegantly drink. So I think that's probably the beginning of where we really kind of started the story, understanding more how storytelling is important, even in the industry of just, it's not just, you know, putting a peanut liqueur on the shelf or putting a vodka on the shelf. Like, how do you make it authentic for somebody?
And I think that's sort of where the Black nerd comic book and all that sort of crosses over like super deeply, is just like, you know, world building and storytelling, and heritage, and what are the unique things that are about your life that you want to tell people, but you can't always tell them straight away. Like, you know, you and I are West Indian, and so peanut punch was something that was very interesting. You know, peanut punch, Malby, sorrel, whatever it is, it's sort of very important to you. Have all these moments with it when you're growing up, and then how do you remix and reimagine that and create a storyline around that? And that's what we did. And so, you know, Clyde and I kept building Team Spirits. Dana went to Remy, Courtney went to Moet Hennessy, and, you know, we stayed in the liquor industry. And I think, you know, we were trying to be part of this industry, but we weren't ourselves. We were trying to be ourselves, but we weren't tapping into the most unique versions of our story. And I think when you really think about what we've been trying to do since that very first moment, when Clyde was like, "Hey man, you should take this class, Courtney gonna be in it." That's what he said to me. That's what he said to me in the hallway. He said, "You should take this class, Courtney's gonna be in this class." And so, but what we've always been trying to build is like I think people resonate around gathering and being together and being around things. There are people gathering on this podcast to sort of hear us and you talk about like Black nerd stuff, but like there's an art to gathering, and it goes back a long time. Like whether you're thinking about coming out of the Roaring Twenties, or whether you're thinking about post-prohibition, or whether you're thinking about even coming out of COVID, like there people just gather. People want to be around each other, and there's an art to gathering, and that art, someone has to be the curator of that art of gathering. And whether that's at home or the routines that you have when you're outside of your home, someone should help you do that well. And so we always wanted to do that. And at first we thought we were just selling alcohol. Yeah, but what we're really selling is this art of gathering. It's like a good night is like drinks, friends, food, music, and like some activity. It could be a book club, it could be a movie, it could be a nightclub. But there's an art to how people gather, and we come to your house. We know you're gonna throw down on the food and the drinks, and the environment's gonna be right. But we're gonna enjoy gathering together, and so someone has to coach you through that. And so that's what we thought about with Housebar. We're like, we want to build.
Prior to that, we learned a lot
on
from
Julie Box. Yeah, good call. Good call.
So we went from Castries to Team Spirits, which was a rum company. And, again, that's where David was talking about how it was just kind of like we're putting bottles on shelves. And from that learning, I was challenged by another friend of ours. Like it was the era of the box, the subscription, everything, subscription socks, subscription, everything. We were like, one of my friends came to me and was like, yeah. He was like, you should do subscription cocktails. And I was like, So from there, we created Julie Box, which was really kind of the antithesis of Housebar. And basically, it was a subscription service where we sent out 2 different cocktails, enough to serve 4 people every month. And we created a whole persona around it. So the whole idea behind Julie Box was, or this spirit and storytelling behind it was, the first cocktail party was ever thrown was in the U.S. in, what was it, 1914?
1917 in St. Louis. Yeah, that sounds right.
And so we created the whole universe around that, and like the tone and the brand persona and everything was around kind of like recapturing the elegance of that time period and what etiquette means and how to make these moments happen without having to think too hard about them. So the whole idea behind Julie Box was like, you've got everything you need to make a cocktail in a box, and just all you have to do is bring your friends over.
That's right.
And we learned so much through that process, from how people were engaging with the cocktails, like to your point, whether it was a book night, or whether it was just girls get together night, or it was like, I want to try something new. And that really was where we learned a lot about how we kind of got to what Housebar is today as well.
Yeah. And I think it got us to the root of like, again, like we were always surprised, like Instagram posts, emails, like just personal emails where it's like, this is how they didn't say the words, but they were always sharing, this is how we gather once a month around this routine.
It became like a thing, like, oh, my Julie Box is coming in. It was like, we're doing something.
Yeah, an appointment.
Yeah. And so, and it allowed us to tap into, I think, so then it closed down, and before it closed, we were like really thinking about like, what do we want to do next? And I think all those stories that people shared with us allowed us to tap into like our own personal stories. Like for me, I was raised by my mom. My mom's a single mother. My grandmother lived with us, but like we always had like a full bar in the basement. That sounds reckless. It's not what it was.
It was never locked.
But that's also not reckless. But the bar in my basement was called K Bellina, and it was K was my mother's name, Bill is my grandfather, and Ina is my grandmother. And my grandfather built it to keep my mom out the streets. So they had moved from Brooklyn to Long Island, and my mom is my mom, and I love her. And so so we always had like a full bar in like the basement, and like he built a bar.
Yep.
And there was always entertaining in my house. And my mom, my parents were divorced early, and so my mom had parties there, and we had DJ would come in, like blue light, red light parties, and and then they had card games upstairs, and then we're West Indian, so people would have dances in the basement. Like that's like how you grow up in these communities, and it's like, but that's
Absolutely.
a way to gather.
Right, very similar.
Yeah, and so as you start thinking about that, and like Courtne's parents are totally different. They're not Caribbean, but they have that similar experience.
We had a bar growing up. It's the first My first memory of Galliano, which was like that tall, crazy
Harvey
bottle.
Wallbanger. Harvey Wallbanger.
And I didn't until very, just recently figure out what to do with it. But like, I always remember that being in the bar. But it was a gathering space. My parents were always kind of like the center of their friends coming over. And it's where you learn how to play spades, and it was where you learn how to play, all the euchre and all the other things. So it was just like, I think every weekend I expected like somebody to be at the house, and they were downstairs in the bar, and it's, they were, it was just fun. It was fun. And it was just kind of like part of the experience of growing up and seeing friends come over and get together, whether it was over food or whatever the case may be, a football game, all that.
So we wanted to own that. And, and honestly, like you and I talk about that, and I think you and I are the primary chefs in our, that doesn't mean Eric and Court can't cook. It's just like, who enjoys cooking doesn't find it as a chore, right? I
enjoy cooking until I had the kids who asked me 16 times a day what's for dinner.
Fair enough.
Same. I was telling someone else that the pandemic kind of broke me. I mean, I think I'm a pretty good cook, but like breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 6 people every single day, like.
And then you want to be experimental, and then they're like, and you're like, but I was trying here. I was like moving, but no.
Exactly. I mean, everything is from scratch. Like I tried to buy like frozen meatballs.
Yes.
And Tanya, I was dragged.
Tanya can go.
Dragged.
She can go in the kitchen. Tanya can go in the kitchen. Like we're not even gonna pretend.
But yes, they beat it out of you a little bit.
Yeah, so but I'm coming back now. I've got 2 in college, 2 in the height of puberty, so they're starting to eat a lot. But
exactly.
But like I think all that, like the entertainment part, because we were all young, you were young, we were young, we had like either young kids or no kids, right? And so people, we lived in Manhattan, and people, before people went to Brooklyn or where they went, they'd stop by and we'd have food and whatever. At our wedding, we'd have cocktails. Our wedding, we did our appetizers, our past appetizers were like all our favorite bar snacks from around the city. We got the chefs to give us like recipes where they would. And our French 75, we got Sasha Petrovsky to give us like his French 75 recipe, because we had one of our first dates there, and Sasha was awesome. And it was just like great. Like, so we liked entertaining. And so, and we liked the way gathering worked, and we had all these sort of roots to it. And we were just like, well, how do you turn this into a business? And we were like, well, the liquor store is trash, right? Like that's where we started. We were like, man, you walk in the liquor store, they following you around. Everything's on the shelf. Courtne had tried to get in the liquor store during her times at Moet Hennessy. Dana had done it during her times at Remy, and Clyde and I had done it during our times at Spirits. And the store experience is really bad, so that was like the thin edge. But we didn't want to just recreate a liquor store. We were like, look, it has to be curated. It has to help people be able to entertain at night. It has to sort of meet their needs. It has to physically look different. It has to feel different. Every other industry had elevated itself, particularly in retail. And we were like, man, why is liquor like this? And so we were like, okay.
And it has to help guide you through the process, right? So you go to a liquor store, a typical liquor store, and it's the vodka aisle, the rum aisle, the cognac aisle. And it's like, okay, so what do I do with this? And then you just go to the soda aisle and be like, I guess it's rum and Coke tonight. And it's like, again, going back to what we learned through Julia Box, people are so much more willing and open to try new things and to expand their cocktail experiences if you just make it easy and help open their eyes to like what's out there, as opposed to just, this a vodka plus.
Right.
So that kind of helped us with.
Yeah. And then,
how do you reshape the store? How do you redefine?
And you can own the shelf. So, Clyde and I had we were banging our heads on doors trying to get our craft brands into stores. And we just decided like, hey, if we ever have our own thing post Julie Box, we were like, there are ways to open up to democratize who should be on your shelves, right? There's a purpose-driven way. I mean, I think shelves are like playlists. You have commercial hits, you have underground hits, you got like really your local backpack guys. And so when we have a vodka playlist, we have a gin playlist, we have an agave playlist, and it's you got to be a good DJ when you're doing that. There's got to be some heritage brands in there. There's some heritage brands if you walk in a store and they don't have them, people are like, oh no. But like that commercial hit that nobody likes, maybe we're not going to play Tito's all the time. So we don't play Tito's and we don't play Bullet. That doesn't mean we don't like Tito's. We don't like Bullet. We like those guys. Like we met Tito when he was very early in the craft business, but his song in our playlist sometimes can hurt other brands. And so we have these playlists that are like well curated, and that's part of it. So it's and I think to Courtney's point, there are companies that are going to put thousands of brands on the shelf, and that's not our business. Our business is, let's curate a playlist that you and your people can vibe to. It makes it easy to come in and buy a thing. It gives it context. You come in, you buy something, you understand how to use it when you go home. We have a pantry and frozen section. It's just like, great. But then people walk in there like, is that what Housebar is? It's like, no, that's what part of what Housebar is. You're on camera, so you whispering to the kids. You still going, that's not great. But I'm gonna keep going.
I think.
Give me 1 second.
I love that you call it a playlist. This is real life when you have 4 kids. I love that you call it a playlist. I love that you are always trying to highlight like Black-owned businesses, women-owned businesses for the spirits. They're like smaller batch, they're a little more unique, and that you have a really knowledgeable staff in the stores to kind of guide everybody. It's very intimate, and you feel like you're going to a friend's house and your friend is giving you the best recommendations for how to have a great time tonight, or like, what do you like, and here's something you could try that's a little bit different from what you're used to. And you guys have the taps in the stores as well, where people can kind of sample things, that is a brilliant business. I'm not a business person. I'm an English major. I'm the only English major in the like friend group. But I mean, it's a clever idea, because it kind of helps like break the ice with the customer, and it builds a relationship that way.
Yeah. And I think it helps people try things they wouldn't try in the past. And I think, as we were going through Jewelry Box, and even as we were thinking about Housebar, like, how much do we lean into education, and how much do we lean into, like, do people want to, you had your new favorite cocktail tonight, and it was infused with something over 5 days, and probably is like this whole production. And it's like, people want to still drink that, but they don't want to do all that work. So how do we educate like what the different types of cocktails are, but also simplify it?
Or they do want to do it.
Right. So like, where do you find yourself on that spectrum of, I actually do want to, infuse something for 5 days, or I just want, something real quick that tastes like I had.
Yeah. I think food has done a great job of that. Like, food is a continuum, right? You can get something you can pop in the oven and microwave, and then you can get something that, if you want to make you want to do, sourdough, and you want to bake it from scratch, and it's a continuum. And I think beverage is a continuum. We just never really we've never talked about it like that. And we're trying to. It's like, if you're in a rush, we have a cocktail fridge in the front that has grab and go I would say grab and go bar quality cocktails and ready to drink formats. Then we have some people who just want to add a great mixer like a Cane Collective, and a spirit. That's a great way to go. Then there are people like, I'm actually going to construct this thing from scratch. And then there are people who like, do you sell beef tallow? Because I want to fat wash this thing somehow. And so it's a continuum. And I think cooking has always been that. Drinks can be that. But like, again, in this bigger universe, entertaining is that. You can go make your own playlist. You can turn on a playlist from someone that's popular. But I think this is all about, we want to get really towards how people gather together. And I think when people see Housebar as we continue to evolve, I don't want them to be surprised. They're like, hey, this is what the Navy Yard looks like. This is what Georgetown looks like. When you come and visit us in Union Station, or you come and visit us in our new location,
there's a red thread. But...
Yeah. There's like gonna be new locations. Yeah, plug Union Station's coming.
New location opening up. So congratulations on that. I mean,
Thanks.
It's fantastic.
We got another one that we signed. We just signed another lease today, and so we're not lease. We started another LOI today, and so we'll have 2 more coming in DC. But when people visit those, they'll walk in, because like one of the things we get a lot of is people walk in the shop and they're like, "Is this a bar?" And we're like, no, this is like Housebar. And we really explain it to them like, this is like your home. It's an extension of your home. It feels living roomy to you. That's why you feel like you want to stay and spend time with us. And the next 2 locations, you will be able to spend more time with us because they will have full bars and kitchens that are associated with it. That is always been the plan for Housebar. It's we care about how you gather at home. That was the thin edge of the wedge, but we care about how you gather between times. And so when we think about, your first drink of the night before you meet friends, your last drink of the night after you come back from somewhere, these are all routines and moments. And you were in New York, and there, those routines are associated with drinking and food and all these things that these moments are associated with. We're still Housebar. We want to capture all those moments. And so as you start to think about how you meet us in the world, you'll be able to have your first drink of the night with us, go off and have a real time with your friends. And the last drink of the night, you'll be able to come back and have it with us, get a bottle, maybe you'll get a sandwich. I'm in New York, or so like I'm not gonna act like
Cheese.
I'm not listen, I'm from Long Island. I'm not gonna act like my go-to at night was chopped cheese. Chopped cheese is good, but that wasn't always my go-to at night. But like it might be a slice, but it might be a patty. But like I think we want to just meet you in those moments, in those routines, but we still wouldn't just, it's all about how do we help you gather better. When you're thinking about how to gather in a great way, you're thinking about Housebar, and that's us. And I think, and I don't want to lose this because I'm a Black nerd, and I think Court is secretly, she doesn't know it. But I want to get, sort of think about like all the things that we liked about comics, and we like about Star Wars, and we like about Insecure and Issa, is like it's world building. People build a place that you want to live in. Like Issa built LA in a way that you want to live in it. Star Wars is a world you want to live in. I think David Simon built The Wire in a world, not necessarily that you want to live in, but it certainly was a world. The Sinners is a world. And I think comics for me were always that. It's the artists and the writers built worlds. And like I didn't know it when I was growing up. I just thought I liked drawing comics or I like reading comics. But as I've gotten older and I've gotten into business, I realized like it's the same thing. I want to build a world that my people who are like me or adjacencies to me want to live in. And I think, you got to look at guys like Ralph Lifshitz before he became Ralph Lauren in South Bronx, face pressed up against the window of the world. He was like, I want to build this world that I'm not from, that people are going to want to live in. It's going to be called Ralph Lauren, and I'm going to build this world. Or Teddy Santis is building Ami Leon Dor the same way. He's like, I'm from Queens, and this is the world where I'm Greek, maybe from Queens, and 94 is his thing. He's just like, this is the world I'm going to build, and I want people to live in. I think Courtne and Clyde and our team, sort of our broader team, and Jesse, we want to build the world we want to live in too. And Housebar is a world. And I think like all those, reading Ender's Game and sort of dealing with like people who are creating universes, I think that's couldn't be a better prep for creating a world of your own. It's just you have to really tap into the authenticity of your family. Like we're Caribbean. What does that mean? How do I wire that into my world? And I think but I do think a lot of what we're doing now is world building. And we started with a very thin edge of the world, which was like, hey, buy these drinks here and we'll deliver them to you through Julie Box. And then we expanded it. Now it's like, hey, there's this physical store to do that in. But the real world that we're building, we've been trying to unveil it, and we're going to be unveiling it. It's like, this world's all about how you gather, and we just want to help you do that better. And we'll do that through our next stores.
Yeah. I think one of the, to piggyback on what you're saying, I think one of the interesting things is, you mentioned with ElfQuest, like how they may never be a movie.
Sadly.
But I think that's sad for us, but fair if it's all about authenticity. And I think that's one of the challenges that we face as we continue to build more house bars, is making sure that we don't lose our authenticity as we grow, and make sure, like, we talk a lot about voice and world building and storytelling. And the antithesis obviously was Julie Box, which was a whole completely different voice than what we are right now. And I think Housebar is a little bit more of David's kind of vision of his experience, like, Black 90s, and what does that look like and feel like? I think all of us kind of know, you remember going to the Black Diamonds parties, if you were in New York, you remember going to Shark Bar if you were in Chicago, like all of these things, and our music and all of that stuff. And how do we make that authenticity in the store?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it's all about, is like, what does gathering feel like? And you talked about in the past is like the Black hospitality.
Yeah.
How do we weave that into it and still make it, universal for everyone at the same time? So
yeah,
but I think it's a really interesting challenge that we're faced with. But I think if anything we can say, you just got to take the risk, and I think that's a lot of what the ElfQuest story is about too, is you take, you take the risk, and, to your point, you have to stay true to who you are, even if you become amazing and everyone wants to like,
Right. They want
water you
Housebars in
down.
every airport.
Don't go for it.
And Tanya, I want to make sure we like answer like some of the questions that we all talked about, like, what's it like working together, and like, how do we get here, and then like the entrepreneur's journey. I want to make sure we get that too. But yeah, I think Court's spot on. There's like a risk to doing this. This is very non-traditional. Like I always applaud anybody who does something independent. Like it's much easier to do something under someone else's umbrella. And I worked at McKinsey. That's their umbrella. Selling work under their umbrella is much easier. You sell it on your own, like ET, that's harder, right? And so going out on your own is hard, and then going against the grain is hard. Like this is the way liquor stores have looked for a long time, or this is the way bars look for a long time, and mixing them together might not feel normal, but like you have to sort of go out and create the world that you want to live in. And I think you create the company you want to work for, and you create the world that you want to live in, and that's what we're trying to do now. I think I think it's challenging being a couple that and you know this, it's challenging being a couple that's doing this. And I think it's interesting because I don't think vision can be crowdsourced, and that includes with your significant other. And so you ultimately end up in roles that you do. And so I can't do what I do without Court, but Court's the tank. That's what we call her in the house. She's the tank. Just go forward. It's not going to be a lot of lateral movement. The tank's going forward. The tank's mowing everything down. That's what the tank does. And, I'm a little bit of the dreamer, and right. Like,
And I think that that's worked well for us. So like when I think of like the Julie Box days, it was more of my leading of like what it felt like, what we talked about, the type of cocktails and all that stuff. And kind of he gave me the space to do that from a marketing perspective and from like the visionary perspective. And you were the tank.
Yeah, I'm a bad tank, by the way. I'm not a great tank.
You were the one like, okay, where are we going to get the bottles from? What distributor?
You are a tank,
How many
Eric.
boxes are we putting out? Like we got to make 700 boxes in the house tonight. And then with Housebar, it's flipped, where it's his vision and I'm the tank. And I still do the marketing for the company and all that stuff, but I think it's more of like he's world building.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, how can I assist?
and I find it to be interestingly like deeply lonely. I think because you can't crowdsource vision, and so you're by yourself, and like then it like comes flooding back, like all the world builders that you like. I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking about this. Hoops McCann, right? Like one was it One Crazy Summer? John Cusack. He's the world builder. He's drawing the world the whole time of his romance. But like my Peloton name, don't bother me because my stats are trash, is Dominic Cobb, because I look I look at Leo and what Leo was doing in Inception. He was world building, and that's how I felt about myself at the time, that I was like, I'm Dominic Cobb. But I look at again, Issa and Sinners and all these other folks, like world building can be incredibly lonely, right? Like you're trying to build this thing that reminds you of this moment, but it's hard to get everyone's input into it because you're like, you see something very clearly. Like there's this world from like, it's like 96 to like 2006. And it doesn't matter what Black city you were in, you had these like lateral experiences. It doesn't matter if you were at the Shark Bar in Chicago, or if you were at, what's it called? We were just talking about Republic Gardens in DC, or if you were at Love, or if you were in New York and you were at All Bets on a Wednesday, or if you were at
lunch,
exactly, or if you were at Suede or All Bets or Nels, it doesn't matter. Like there are these experiences, and there's this moment, like, and I respect it. ALD, they're trying to create Queens in '94 with a tinge of Ralph Lauren. You have to have that moment that sort of sparked your mind when you dreamed big, and so that. To me, there was this like real Black golden era of gathering and hospitality that we want to share back. And Black hospitality is this super unique thing that's different than every other kind of hospitality. I think you're indoctrinated to believe like there's Italian hospitality and it's like great, and it's just like large portions, and this is the way it is, and this is what Greek hospitality looks like. But no one ever talks to you about like Black hospitality, what that means. And that starts way back even into the slavery. Hospitality, when it's not your home, it's a real feat of dignity. That's a real feat of dignity. And
absolutely,
when we talk about,
yes.
And so we talk about who are the first cooks and chefs, and How are we getting
And
cookbooks from,
distillers.
yeah, who and
Mhm.
distillers, right? So you think about like Nearest Green, right? Like whiskey, and then you think about like Thomas Downing, and you think about like oysters, or you think about,
First cocktail.
right, if you think about
Bullet
If you
yeah.
think about Tom Bullock, right? Like we've always had these roles, and those roles were not dope back then. They were just like, yeah, Martha Washington got a cookbook. She don't cook, but we got this cookbook. It's like somebody cooked it. It's like great. And so that was we had hospitality then, and I think,
Just hidden.
yeah, and we don't want to be hidden with our hospitality. You know what it means when someone says you're in a Southern person's house or a Southern kitchen. You know what it means when you go to West Indian person's house. You know you're going to be fed well. You know you're going to drink well. You're going to play. There's going to be great music. We want to export our hospitality. When you go to Italy, it's much more compartmentalized. You get it. It's Italian version of hospitality. But the definition of Black in our diaspora is very different. It's just like wide. And so we're not like this one thing, but Black hospitality at its roots is generous. It's fun. It's
Yes.
food. It's music. And so we want that. We want to export that. It's not only for Blacks, just like juke joints weren't only for Blacks. It was our place that we had to make for ourselves because we couldn't go everywhere. But we invited everyone in, and that's Housebar. It's not just for, but we are inviting you into our home, and we're saying this is what we are like, and this is dope, and you should want to be a part of it. But it's not exclusively for us. But if you are a Black person looking for Black spirits, or if you're underrepresented, you're looking for that thing, you will come in there and you will get the tinglies.
Yeah.
You will feel like you're at home. And we want everyone to feel like they're at home with it. And I think that's what we're trying to build. Again, hospitality, there's a dignity to it. There's an elevation to it. And I hope we're doing a good job.
I think you are. Absolutely. It is joy, like the Sci-Fi Sisters said. You are curating joy and sharing
Love
it with
that.
people.
Yeah.
There was a great question in the chat about non-alcoholic spirits. I'm not sure if we could pull it up, but if you
Yeah, I saw that.
had any
Seedlip and
that,
something else. Yep.
Absolutely. I think you're crazy if you're not thinking about non-alc, right? Just
Low and no.
Yeah,
Yep.
low and no, and it works for lots of ways. I will tell you how it works for me. ET knows how it works for me. I don't think I'm the prototype of how to do this, and you should not do it the way I do it. But we Imbibe featured us. Derek Brown did top places in DC for no and low, and we were in there. I think we were the only liquor store there. We always wanted that to be part of it. Like, I think at the end of the day, you should be able to walk into a place and get everything you need for a night out or night in, without your partner or your friends having to go to 3 other places. And so if you come in and you want a non-alc and someone comes in, they want out, just
One spot. Yep.
one spot, you go to your separate spot places. You should be able to make a great cocktail that's non-alc. You should be able to have a great drink. I mean, again,
There's so many good brands out there now that are really supporting, like, and so much better than we've had in the past. Like back in the day when it was like zero beer, it was like
no brand. We don't slum brands by name.
Brands.
We don't do by name.
But I think the industry has just gotten.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm kidding. I was saying that's good. You good. You can slum away.
I think the industry has gotten really better at creating great taste profiles.
I think so too.
For the millennials who are definitely looking for these they want the taste of the spirit. They just don't want the consequences, or they want they're living more healthier lives, and so, or wellness focused, and so you can't avoid it. And so it's almost like we wouldn't be doing ourselves a service with not having those type of spirits in the store, and also showing you how to make a great mocktail with it. So that's definitely a part of
and I think I think people get lost in our industry in the headwinds. Oh, this generation isn't drinking and what have you. And I think there's some truth, some faults. It's like, we don't work in the same way we used to work. So there's not some 50-year-old guy or 50-year-old woman with a charge account that takes all the interns and the apprentices out and lets them spend money on drinks. And so it's harder for people to go out and drink. It's more expensive to go out and drink. Dive bars work differently. People are healthier. There are lots of versions of why. That doesn't change our mission. Our mission is you're trying to have a good time at home, or you're trying to have a good time going out. That means offering a full array of products that allow you to have a good time. Like for me, I'm an aggressive Michigan sports fan, and a football game can be long and a bottle of bourbon can go quick. And so, I definitely fancy myself a Boilermaker with a shot and a beer. but I've gotten to the point where my beers are non-alc and my shot is still bourbon. It makes it more sessionable for me. It doesn't mean, it just makes I drink differently, and I don't always drink that way. But I think no and low is an opportunity to just sort of effectively microdose in how you want to. If you don't drink it all, which we're getting older. You should
still have great flavors, and you should still have
Exactly.
great cocktails, because in the past it was like, oh, I gotta have a seltzer and a lime, and now it's like you can actually have something that tastes great, has a great cocktail, flavor, what have you, and still have still have the experience, like you're not kind of like
Absolutely.
on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to make sure
I'm
we
having
start
a very tasty in my ElfQuest tumbler from Arcane Vaults. It's lemon juice, ginger beer, and lavender syrup.
Perfect. Exactly. And that's to me, that's the definition of, right? Like we learned that in Julie Box. It's like, and it's the basic of cocktail construction. It's like, what's the bitter thing? What's the citrus thing? What's the sweet thing? The alcohol is part of it, but you can make a great drink without it as well. I think we want it to be available for everyone. So yes, so we do have no and low, and I think again, the goal is inclusion. If the end goal is always how do we gather better together, then you have to find ways that everyone who wants to gather has an opportunity to feel included.
I love that so much. That's such I mean, it just means so much. I mean, like you said, there is like an art to gathering, and people are lonely. I mean, there's like this loneliness epidemic, and you guys are working to cure that through your business.
Absolutely. And it's funny
We
you say
need
that.
community. This is how we win in this hellscape that we are living in right now.
Exactly.
and it's funny, like you read the studies, and I don't know how much I buy, but like, I read, you guys send out, we have our nice group chat, lots of good articles, lots of smart people send smart things. But when you hear how dangerous loneliness is relative to a pack of cigarettes or binge drinking, it scares me, right? Because we're raising kids that there are different levels of social, but like, yeah, we should be encouraging people. I'm not saying, I hear some of the late night comics who are like, get out, get drunk, make mistakes, meet your wife, meet your husband. Like, I hear that. And like, of course, rah, rah for that too. But like, just being able to get out and gather around a thing, it's like, it's some music, there's some food, non-alc, great, alc, great. But just get around. Let's argue about Mike's best album, Prince versus Mike. We've done all these things, but this is, I mean,
Prince wins.
Prince, please.
I knew I was going to immediately lose that. And that is totally fine. I was going to go with Jay and Nas, but then I was like, that'll also go probably not the way I want.
But to what you're saying too, I think it's interesting, as, we've been building the business, and, we've, talked to all kinds of people who either are interested in investing or whatever the case may be. It always starts with, oh, it's a liquor store.
Yes.
And I don't, I have an alcoholic in my family or whatever the case may be. And it just always has like that negative connotation. But I think once we tell them like what we're trying to do and the bigger vision of it, it becomes something different. It's like, oh, it's not just about drinking. Like you can drink alcohol, you can not drink alcohol. We have food, we have resources that help you just get together. Like that's the really
you have games.
We have
like
we
fun
games.
It makes it
music.
Everything is like elevated down to like the bottles on the shelf. Like it's everything is an experience, and like artistry is like celebrated at every level. So it's
I don't think we want to think about it like, I mean, the liquor store is like the last thing we wanted it to be. And I think as we continue to evolve and people walk in and they see it, they'll see that we sit at like the intersection of like retail and hospitality, and they'll be able to get a drink and sit, and they'll be able to take a drink and go, but they'll really be able to have like an experience. And that's all we really want. Like you come in, you have an experience with us, and you can stay, you can go, there's food, there's music, you feel welcome when you're in that place. It's it's called Housebar, but we definitely live between places. We live between your home and wherever you're going. Like if you're trying to get a drink, again, first and last drink. If you're going out with your friends, we're that first drink. We live between your home and that place you're going, or we live between your home and coming home. If we end up with one at an airport, we end up with one at a train station. We're part of we're part of where you gather and how you gather, but like we're not home and we're not exactly your final destination. And I think understanding those routines around how people gather isn't just going to be important for our business, but we definitely want to be like you're stuck at the airport. Tell me you don't want to pull up to a house bar. Of course you do. You would want to have a place that makes you feel like you're home away, where it's still warm, it still feels like you're in Union Station. That's what you're going to want as well. And so we hope we can build those things. Like there are lots of people who've built great hospitality companies. We look at them and we say, what are the things we want to take from that? There are people who've built great worlds, from comics to movies. What do we want to take from that? I think I believe the no ideas original thing we talk about sometimes. Like I love Star Wars, but there's a little bit of samurai in that. I can see a little bit of Ronin in that. I can see a little bit of, you know what I mean? There's always a little bit of a thread that you can pull from great stories. And I hope there's a thread that people pull from our story. And I hope it's a great story, but I hope people pull basement parties. I hope they pull that 10-year run in whatever city you were in the golden era. I hope they pull that thread. I hope they remember their parents having those parties that they overheard. Whatever the thing is that made you want to hang out or makes you want to get together with your people. I hope when you do it, you're like, you're reminded of Housebar that way.
So you can see
and I
he's
hope
the
it's
dreamer.
something that is a dreamer.
You can see he's
But
the dreamer.
it's a great dream because I mean, like you, I remember the basement parties and just seeing my dad's like group of friends and then like the kids all came down and it was like a next generation. And like, that's what I wanted in my adult life. Like I wanted to be able to have this like group of friends where everybody kind of leaned on each other. And I mean, when I was growing up, it was like, well, who's picking up Tanya from school? Like, and it could be like this person's kid or that person's kid. And like, it makes me sad that we've lost a bit of that in just it is different. It's not like the 70s, obviously, all us Gen X people like, and we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, like as, parents, and it's a lot of like us individually doing a lot. And it's great to like slow down and remember to gather and have that community because it takes like the pressure off of each individual or like each couple. Like we're all in these little silos. And like, I mean, we're not in the same city. So like whenever we get together, it's like, yes, we're together. Like we're so excited to have everyone together and all the kids together and just have this big group. And that's really what it's all about. So like, hopefully this will inspire more people to gather together and not be so isolated and have their kids, like these younger people that, whatever they're doing, like playing Uno or.
Yeah. And I think it's cool that you're saying that there's like the evolution of even what we've been is, we went from be a great host, right? How do you make hostessing, like hosting your friends over or whatever easy, to this other movement that we're talking about now, which is gathering. Like for me, the word host already creates like a sense of anxiety. Like, oh my God, I've got to think of all these things. And we were trying to make that approach easy. But I think we've moved even further past that, where it's like, you don't have to be a host. Just call people over and we'll help you figure it out. Like it doesn't have to be so formal. Because it really is just about getting people together.
And then and the rest I think the rest will happen where we naturally crave being social. And that's why, like, when you run that timeline through history of like, it doesn't matter what was crazy or bad happening, people just cleave to each other. It just sort of happens. Like, people like prohibition's easy to talk about. It's like, oh man, you couldn't get no drinks, and people found ways. But like but every era, you find that, and the Black experience in those eras are particularly like enlightening, because in lots of eras, Black people were not doing well, and the fact that we found ways to really get after it on the celebratory side, even when we weren't like doing really
parties during the Harlem Renaissance.
Yep, exactly. And so you can take that in every single era. Again, like you gotta start in those slavery and post-slavery eras. And you're like, we still found those ways
Right.
to be celebratory, to be joyful. We were together in these micro moments. There was music. We played music. We had food. We had the best versions of our food that time. We had the best versions of our drink at that time. And so, look, that's Black hospitality. And that sort of, you have to pull that all the way through. And, we want to make that a thing. And so, yeah, celebration, gathering, get these kids out of their rooms. That's that's not really written in the mandate. Get these kids out of the room, because it feels like that's like a marketing issue. If we say things like that, I feel like that feels like a legal problem. So we don't say things like that. But I do like, I love that the businesses become. I think maybe this is what all businesses become. It's just like, pour everything that you really want to do in your life into one kind of business, and maybe the business gets bigger and bigger and bigger, but it starts to encapsulate who you are and what you want to do and what impact you want to have. And I hope that's true for us. Like, when we were smaller, I was just like, this should be our version of a record shop or a sneaker store, where the staff is super knowledgeable and passionate, and they connect with customers. And like, we have a staff that I couldn't have imagined that we would have, and they're better than I thought we would have had ever be able to hire, and they're awesome, and they connect with customers. So we got the sneaker shop, record shop there, and then it was just like, well, but we want more, and we want more for our customers. How do we keep making this experience better? And hopefully, we're not perfect. Honestly, like, this is, when you read Google reviews of anyone, and we're not a 5, we're like a 4.9 or whatever we are, 4.9 or whatever. But like, everybody has bad or 4.8, whatever. Whoever, everyone has bad days. We just hope that, like, in the spirit of, like, we're here to impact the community and make things good and better. If we ever had a bad day with you, we hope you come back and give us another shot to have a better day with you. And if you ever came in the store and was like, this is just a liquor store, know that this is a world we're trying to build, that we want you to come to and be invited to, and we've particularly built it for you. And hopefully, like, when Union Station opens, people start to see, oh man, I see why this is my world, and this is where I belong, and this is a thing that I can come to. We'll see. But it's a good run so far. I'm having a good time. I'm doing it with my wife. That's great. I'm doing it with best friends, right? That's great. Doing it with best friends who become
Absolutely.
investors. That's great. Like, I just think, I don't know, man. I definitely feel blessed and highly favored. I know everybody says that, but man, when I get off camera, I still feel that way.
Well, I mean, I couldn't be happier for you guys. But I think it's important to remember that this has been a long time coming. Like, these things don't just happen overnight, and it's, this is like 20 plus years in the making, and a lot of thought and care like went into it, and a lot of like work, like just straight up work.
Yeah.
So
No, it's definitely been a journey. And kind of going back to what you were talking about before in terms of like being partners or husband and wife working, it takes a lot of trust, like from shifting, the vision and being like, okay, I don't know if I agree with that, but I'm going to give you the space to do it. And, I think that that's probably one of the biggest things we've learned is like trusting each other's opinions.
Yes.
And giving each other the space to make mistakes.
Yes.
And then supporting each other when we have to like fix those mistakes.
Yeah.
And forgiveness, I would say.
Right? Like being able to give each other, I know what your strengths are, what my strengths are, and giving each other like, okay, you are the RP on this because I know you're great at this, and, I trust you to make decisions and, not micromanage everything. So I think that that's the biggest part too, is like, as couples being able to work together and being able to say, this is your area.
Yeah.
And I won't question you here. Yeah. I'll question you, but I won't make you make the decision.
Yeah, you will question it. But also, like, with you and ET, and I'm sure you guys go through this or have gone through this, it's like, I think when you're young in a business and you're first starting a business, what you let each other do without arguing is largely tied to what your academic history says you're allowed to do. Oh, you were an accountant, so you get to be the accountant. And that's not real business. Like, Court's good at marketing, not because she is going to buy AdWords better than someone else, because marketing is lore, it's storytelling, it's emotionally connecting with people. That's her gift, right? And that's been her gift for a long time. I don't know what I am yet, but I'm working through lots of things.
You're all the things.
I'm working
You are
through
the
things.
truth.
But, like,
All the
Over
things.
but I don't want to be
all the things.
yeah, I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, he's a banker, so he's good at finance, or he's a consultant. Like I feel like I emote a little bit more than that. And so like we'll see. But like I think what we're figuring out working together is like there's always a best and highest use of a person's talent, and you just try to get them the ball so they can do that thing. Um, the also the objective isn't to give somebody a job that you want them to fail at ultimately, right? So you can be like, I told you so. Like that's what you do when you're young, because it's what young people do when they want to prove they're better at things than another young person. And I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to achieve our goals and be successful. And so it's like give your partner the ball in a place that you know they're going to guarantee to score. And if they score, then they're going to continue to score. And it's just like that's what we're trying to figure that out. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect system, but it's good. And then what's helped is like when we started trying to do our first business, we had no kids, and so we didn't have an operating history.
Oh, team
Yeah, so we didn't have like an operating history on how to problem solve around emergency situations together. And so you have 4 kids in, and one leaving for college and 3 in high school. Yeah, I think we've been through a lot of situations together, and so business situations become a little bit easier. The trust is definitely there. Kids are falling on their head when one of us isn't there. You're like, well, I hope they're gonna do the right thing. So you learn trust through the fire, and so it makes you better business partners. The kids have helped us be better business partners. It's like you can pass the ball to the other person, and they're going to get this thing done well. And I don't think that's something they told us in business school. They teach you in school. They always tell you like, hey, don't have your significant other, blah 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 blah. But I think you've already established this crazy rapport over 18 years with your first kid, then 17 with your second, and then 14 and 13. You've got this rapport of how do we play together? Is it what?
So it's a slick way to do all the kids' ages.
You like that, right?
Yeah, just threw that out there very nicely.
But we've developed this rapport that we know how to play together in lots of different situations, and so business becomes much less of an intimidating situation, or much less of a rep that we haven't had. We've had a lot of reps together, and so it's good. When you're young, the reps are harder because it's like they compound each other. It's like if you have a bad day at work and then you have a bad day with the kids, and that's bad. As you get older and you can sort of parse the things out, you could have a bad day at work, still chuckle about the day you're having with the kids. Like, man, it's always me and you against the world, right? Like,
and not to gloss it all over. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and say the 20 years that we've worked together have been like amazing. Like, obviously, when we started, I was like,
not amazing.
I was like, I can't like you and work with you. And then, through the different businesses that we've worked either together or partially, or, I was working on a part of it, or we, founded something together. Like, there's always should we do this together? And then we have to be honest about like how we want to work together. And, we've learned over the years, like I said, in terms of like where I think that, unquestionably you're the ruler over a certain part of the universe, and you give, me but I own a certain part of the universe. And I think that that's taken time for us to kind of get, just like a marriage, honestly. It takes time to like know who you're working with and how you work best together. But yeah, I think, at the end of the day, he's, the partner I would never not say yes to. In terms of starting a new business.
There was a lot of stuff in there. I gotta hear that. I gotta really hear what you just said. Never not say yes to. Did you just say you'll never say yes? But anyway.
Yes.
Something. I have no glasses on, and I have contacts, but they're not as good as I thought they were. Are we missing questions that are coming up?
Oh,
no, the big question was about the low and no alcohol products, but this is like some great comments about just everybody loves the vibe. They want to come visit Housebar for all those folks that are not in this DC area. Sister Tanya owns a dispensary with her mom here in DC, and she's relating to a lot of the like working with someone that you're close to, and there's just a lot of different scenarios where you have to like learn to trust the other person. And it's not like mother and daughter, it's manager and
this is the wife hat. And now I'm going to put on.
Right. And you have to kind of take it off. And Wendy and Richard have mentioned that. Like Wendy had said, like, can I speak to my husband right now? I don't want to talk to my editor. You know, like this is.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do that with Eric. Like, am I talking to, you know how Eric is? Eric is very,
it's awesome.
very diligent. Eric is awesome. But it's like, where does the workday end when you're together all the time and you're working together and you're raising your kids and doing all these things? So it's, you know, you do have to kind of create some kind of boundaries or, you know, for certain things.
Safe word.
So that it's just not like on all the time. But
yeah. I think
that's, it's like a dance.
And it's interesting, the way you described it, I was like, oh yeah, that is right. That is where I struggle. I struggle because the business we're in can happen and be around all the time.
Yeah.
And so when I'm cooking, when we're out to eat,
You're not talking greasy about you.
Yeah, no. But this is definitely an introspective moment for me when I make some real mistakes. Like if we're going out, we could just be trying to enjoy the food we're out. But I'm like, you know, it'll be dope. And then immediately dive off in that Housebarifying this thing that we're looking at. And, you know, you have to give your significant other a break. Like everyone, what is it? Your social battery?
My social battery gets low.
Yes. Your social battery
I'm like, no more food cooking shows.
No more cooking shows. No more drink shows. Food battery low. But I think that's what's hard when you have like, one of your worlds is I raise kids with this person. One of this parts of it is like I am romantically involved and want to keep our love affair going. Then another one is like we are professionally linked and they all need watering. And you know, I can definitely overwater the business one. And I think that's realistic. Like that's what I'm like, and you're giving me room to overwater the plants, which I appreciate. So.
Yes. Well, this has been such a great conversation. I knew you guys were going to be awesome. And I'm just so glad that you were able to share like your vision for Housebar. And I'm even more happy that it's been so successful and that we've gotten to be a part of it. And I'm always grateful for your support of Two Moons and a Microphone, of my nice little nerdy pursuits, so that I can have a break from the other things that I do with the kids and a business and all of those things. So it's just been fantastic. So if anyone is interested, please check out Housebar. There is the website in the show description, and you can check out the 2 locations if you're ever in the DC, Maryland area, in Navy Yard, right near Nationals Park. Location, and Georgetown. And I haven't visited Georgetown yet. I got to get over there.
Yeah, you got to come see us in Georgetown. And then we have to harass you at some point. We have to have like a deeper, I'm going to come harass you. Maybe I'll come back on the show with you. We can debate some comic booky stuff, because I thought you were really going to start in with, when did you start following Todd McFarlane? I was going to be like, I think it was Hulk 330, and then he moved to Spider-Man. It's like 298. I was like, oh man.
And that's where I was like, I don't know.
I was like, I'm gonna be super rusty. I think McFarlane went over. I think there was the Chance cover where he did whatever.
You're looking for my confirmation.
Yeah, I know. That's just fair enough. I thought we were gonna go down the route, but this is good. But I love rabbit holing. I would say all that to say I love rabbit holing with you on Black Nerd stuff as well. So.
Yes, and so
I mean, there's no end to the like Black nerdy stuff that we could talk about, and there's a lot going on in comics right now. Like, are you reading anything new right now?
I am not, and so here's what I'm doing right now. I am hiding out from my kids who have wildly surpassed me as artists. And so I see the stuff they draw, and I'm just like, I will never pick my pen up ever again. They're earlier than me. They're better than me earlier too, which is like one of those things. Like we had good like artists, even if they weren't always technically the most sound. Like I think McFarlane was great. I think people had problems with Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld, like that whole Image crew that was first in Marvel. Everyone wasn't like, they weren't 8 heads high and done the correct superhero way, but like when they draw those same, they sort of look at some of those reference images and they're drawing them now. They're just, these kids are really good early. And so I look back at some of my stuff, I'm like, yeah, and I'm just like, man, I was trash. I wasn't trash. I mean, like, I was good enough to draw it, but like, I think, you know, if you want to be an artist now, the resources are wildly different. I think YouTube, you know, it just shortens the gap of getting to become a good artist. Watching these time-lapsed art videos for some of the people online, you can see the rest of the world drawing. It's just like crazy. And I think for us, we were in these little silos. You knew who was in your art class, and you knew who were in whatever local art collectives, and maybe you submitted your portfolio to Marvel or whatever, and you got looked at for an internship. But the world is just much bigger now, and there's just so much more talent. And so, well, I'm not and it's funny. I was a comic reader through Art First. So like lots of the titles that I followed like Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was great. Like we talked about Cerebrus the Aardvark, or we talked about Frank Miller's Ronin and all those. Like those are all, like, to me, those are Art First. Like the stories were good too, but I was always Art First. My good friend Sheldon was always like story first. He was like, hey, read Ender's Game. He was Isaac Asimov. He was like that. And I was like, whoever's got the best pen game, I'm following them around. And that's how I wound up with like Hulk McFarlane to like Spider-Man McFarlane, because he moved. But like, I don't know, I was artist first and then, you know, world second. And I think over time, like, I think Spider-Man's probably my favorite character from when I was growing up. Yeah, obviously, as you age, Black Panther ultimately becomes your favorite character. But like the Fantastic Four were like, they were hard for me. I never loved the way they were drawn when I was younger. They were great, but like I liked other artists better. But yeah, I mean, like, so with the kids now, I haven't jumped into new comics as much, but they've pulled me into anime. Yeah, they've pulled us into anime really good.
Kaisen, I can't remember any of the names of the characters.
Attack on Titan was great. It was just
Demon Hunter, like all these.
Vinland Saga. I liked
Vinland Saga. Is all about One Piece and you know,
Naruto.
I had Sunny Strait, who was a colorist for ElfQuest. Yeah. And he's the voice of Usopp in One Piece, and I had him on the show last season.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. So yeah, there's a lot. I mean, Cole is all into anime, and I'm like, I am reading America's only first manga right here. I tried to get him to read it. Crickets. And now he's got like anime all over his room and yada yada yada. It's just because I liked it, so it's not cool. But I mean, it's interesting, Dave, that you never got into ElfQuest because the art is phenomenal.
The art is
really good. That's what I saw when when Courtne got it. I was like, oh, I didn't know they got down like this. And it's interesting. It does remind me of those sort of, and it's not and I mean this like in a great way. Like it does remind me of those earlier, art projects that I looked at. Like again, early Turtles, early Cerebrus. It's not that they were drawn, better than other things. They were just uniquely drawn. I looked at ElfQuest, I was like, oh, this is uniquely drawn. It's like, this is not the 8 heads high hero, wide shoulders, rib cage, blah, 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 blah. It's definitely, and it gives me much more anime vibes. And like, I'm watching Demon Slayer with Cam now, and like all that stuff. I can really appreciate the artwork on AOT and Vinland Saga and all these things now. But, growing up, I was just like, if McFarlane was doing a cover, even if I didn't love the even if I didn't love the characters, I think I was going to get that one. So I think art than story. And I think as I've grown up, stories become much more important to me.
I saw in the chat somebody shouted out Blue Eye Samurai. And
oh my God.
100% so yes.
Good. So
oh my God.
Good. So good.
And I almost dropped a tear when I saw season 2 is like it pushed out to 2027, because I literally have been like, hurry up.
Yeah, I think it's trash that they put that. But that's the same with Miles Morales' third one. It's just like, how many years we gonna wait for Miles' third episode? It's like, come on now, y'all. You can keep kicking it out.
They pushed it out.
I mean, yeah.
Forever. I mean, I think there was like a strike or something with one of the unions. There was something and that got pushed.
Okay.
But X-Men 97 is coming back soon,
So
even though
good.
Disney fired everybody, and I'm still mad about
Right.
that. But that first season, X-Men, I was bawling at one, like episode 5.
See, look,
Unreal.
that's the thing. It's like, and I think that's why we get into it all. And honestly, they've all matured so much more. Like G.I. Joe is one place. We grew up watching G.I. Joe Transformers. I remember
I
remember
love
watching
G.I. Joe. I used to
Transformers.
have the entire run on VHS.
Absolutely.
Like,
Exactly. Exactly. I remember when we also saw the first Transformers in the movie. You were like, opening scene. You were like, did they just curse?
yes.
Did they kill Prime? I was like, what is going on here? But yeah, like,
Did you see
I think
Transformers 1? That was so good.
Yeah.
so good.
And nobody was talking about it. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
hands
Yeah.
down. I mean, just the subtext, everything about it was so good.
Do you and I, like, without getting you wildly off topic, but like, I know you're Star Wars. I'm sure you guys do Trekkie. Where are you guys on the MonsterVerse? Like, I know my group is sort of split on it, but like Godzilla, Kong, this sort of the bridge shows in between, the what's it called? What is the
It's Monarch. The Sci-Fi
the Monarch
sisters
shows in
are
between.
like all over Monarch. You check out their Patreon. I think they have watch parties. They've had interviews. You should check out their podcast on wherever you get your podcast.
That'll be good.
I think right.
And they've had a lot of the actors on, and yeah, so the
Monarch,
the MonsterVerse is very strong here as well.
Which I
We
like. 'Cause I
take
was
in
never-
all
I
kinds.
didn't-
We're all inclusive.
Nice.
Yeah,
I love that.
I remember Godzilla, but I was not a Godzilla fan growing up, and I think
I didn't like that answer.
Well, I listen, but our youngest son knows all of them.
Yeah.
So I didn't block.
Yeah, that's great.
But I definitely feel like, what they're doing with the universe now, I'm like, like it's,
And
and I had no idea there was like all the layers and all the things.
Good
so,
connective
like,
tissue that they do with the TV shows,
Yep.
and then to get you up. Anyway, we're taking you wildly off topic, but yeah, we were
Blerds.
yeah. There you go. You
are one of us.
Did I get my stamp?
Absolutely. Yes. Kaiju forever. Absolutely. So yes, we've come to another, we've gone over an hour, which I mean, it's just been such a great conversation, and I'm so happy you guys could join us. And thank you to everyone in the chat. You guys have been great. There was also Go Sci-Fi, where they talk about the original Godzilla. So you can check that out here on the Sci-Fi Sisters Inc. YouTube channel. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing, like this video, leave a comment after this live is over. It really helps with the algorithm and lets us find other nerds that we can gather well together and do that.
Yes.
And check out Housebar on Instagram and Threads. It's Live Housebar. That's also in the show description. The Sci-Fi Sisters live show is going to be back next Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. right here. And Two Moons and a Microphone will be back on July 22nd.
Nice.
So I hope you will join us then.
Yes.
Mayven and Courtne, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for having us. Super proud of you. And thank you
Absolutely.
guys all for tuning in and listening to our crazy journey.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you guys all. So thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
Such a great storytellers. You guys are awesome. So, Shade and sweet water to everyone, and we will see you next time.